The other thing that gave me some level of pause was this contract Trevor Lawrence just got.
Yeah. You
Um,
didn't think he was gonna get it?
no, would you have paid Trevor Lawrence based on what you've seen?
Uh, Based off of what I've seen, yes, because they paid Daniel Jones. So I'm saying you have to look at the league as it is right now. Everybody automatically assume that you're going to have to pay a Joe Burrow type. But if you have a quarterback who's above average, he's getting paid above average money. And the quarterbacks get a high percentage of the salary cap. So there's nothing new that's happening. Because when you start really breaking it down, of the 32, it's damn sure not 16 damn good quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So they're gonna get paid just because of the position more than anything.
I,
But
I
he's done enough at the position to think that he's capable.
I think he tried to gut through the high ankle sprains last year, and I think he was kind of hurt last year.
Mhm.
Um, Something seemed a little off with the Jags last year after they had the really good season the year before.
Yep.
Um, if you look at the career numbers, they're somewhere between like fine and decent, I would say.
Mhm.
They've flipped OCs every year he's been there. Um, I kind of don't understand why Doug Peterson's not just calling the plays, but what do I know? Um, so Trevor Lawrence, 5 years, $275 million contract extension,
Yeah.
55 per.
55 per, 200 guaranteed.
I mean, that is major money. Um, that brings him now to the same AAV as Joe Burrow at 55 per. Burrow has more guarantees. Burrow has almost 220 guaranteed.
Yeah.
He's a little ahead of Goff, a little ahead of Herbert. The next person coming up where you'd expect to really reset this thing, I think, will be Stroud, and they can't even talk to him for another 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, but Lawrence, career numbers, 3 seasons in the NFL, 20 and 30 record, completing 64% of his passes, 58 touchdowns to 39 picks. If you dive a little deeper, his rookie year with Urban Meyer grabbing, I mean, everything went sideways. Urban was a disaster there. If you pull that year out because Lawrence was bad, but
Mhm.
everything was bad in the last 2 seasons, which have included a divisional weekend playoff run for
Mhm.
Jacksonville. Now, granted, that was 2 years ago, but it happened. He's averaged 66% passing, about 4,100 yards per season, about 23 TDs against what's the middle of 8 and 14? 11 against 11 picks. Um, Good numbers, not great numbers. He's obviously getting
But
paid great money.
you don't have to be great to get paid as a quarterback in the NFL.
Sure. He takes a fair amount of sacks. The running ability, I think we saw more of it in college. He can run. He had 339 rush yards last year, 4 TDs on the ground.
Mhm.
Um, the only things that would alarm me is 2 out of 3 years, fairly high interception totals.
Mhm.
Um, and he takes a lot of sacks. Last year, he got sacked on 6% of the snaps. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. Um,
But still, they get paid.
would you have paid him? Because I think the worst thing you can do is pay a good quarterback great money because then it just messes up your cap.
But
Where does Lawrence
so
land
so
for
what
you?
do? You don't pay anybody, you let him go, and you get somebody else that may not be the quarterback neither?
I don't know. I mean, we saw that here. Washington didn't want to pay Kirk
Mhm.
because Kirk is okay, not great. He's good, not great.
But the whole thing about it, if they had paid him, would they be in a better situation than what they've been?
It would have been way more stable.
So, in other words, sometimes you have to bite the bullet and be stable, because I think they feel what he's shown, he has that ability. Maybe, just maybe, all of the different changes has been causing them some issues. But would he have gotten paid? Yes. Once I saw him pay Daniel Jones, I'm paying anybody that's better than him.
He's better. I would have paid Trevor Lawrence because I still think you're betting on upside there.
Yeah.
I think, this is a young man so he's only 24. Think about that. Like, he's played in the league 3 years, and he's a year older than Jaden.
So, but think about it. So he's been in the league 3 years, going to his 4th. He has a breakout year this year. Next year, it's going to be paying him $60-something million.
Totally.
So
you get these done as early as you can.
Up. They probably got him cheap now because, like you said, that doesn't kick in for 2 more years.
Right.
So when he starts to get the $55 million, the average might be 60, 62.
Well, and if you average it out, so they now have Lawrence locked up for the next 7 seasons, right? This is where it really becomes advantageous for the teams. They've got 2 years left on the rookie deal. Now, the 5th year will have some serious comp to it because it's the 5th-year option. But going into this season, his cap number's 11 mil. Round up, call it 12.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, that number jumps to 25, fully guaranteed. So you've got 1 year at 12, 1 year at 25, and then it's 55. So that 12 and 25 is 37. So 37 plus the 275 is, call it roughly 300.
Mm-hmm.
What is 300?
300 plus.
What is that divided by 7? Right? Because that's your real number here.
Yeah, but that's how it is. The whole thing of it, you get the extension. The real number is 275, 5 years, because he's still getting paid the money he's getting paid right now.
If you're the team and you look at, okay, we now have this quarterback under team control for the next 7 years, averaging out to 44 mil a year, that's value.
Yeah, but every quarterback ends up with something like that when they sign those deals after 3 years. I don't think that changes much at all. I just think that if you can get your guys, when a guy gets a contract after 3 years, he just told you I'm good enough. So you're gonna pay him anyway. Because if they wait 1 more year, they still paying him.
Up.
Yeah,
right.
But the price goes up.
Landini, would you have paid Trevor Lawrence the 275, 55 per?
I don't think so. I know how badly it can go, obviously. It went, here when they didn't pay Kirk Cousins, it was kind of a mess for 5 years, but I just can't deal with the fact that they're now paying Trevor Lawrence, who's just been pretty average, more per year than 2-time NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. And it's not like Lamar signed a contract 6 years ago or something. Like, he signed a contract last offseason, and Trevor Lawrence, who's just been average as hell for 3 years, if even that, is making more. Like, hell, you could have just gone and signed Jacoby Brissett or somebody off the street who wouldn't be that much of a downgrade from Trevor Lawrence, if any at all.
Pat Mahomes makes 45 a year.
Now, Mahomes did sign kind of a weird contract.
Josh Allen makes 43 a year.
See, that's the difference. Pat Mahomes is not trying to be the highest paid person, because he could be if he wanted to be.
I think he will be soon.
Pat Mahomes basically said it on TV. He said, "Listen, I'm here to win championships." He said, "I don't need to necessarily get the contract to be the richest, the highest guy." You know why? Because he's getting paid off the field as well. But the thing it comes down to is not not Lamar's fault. He got more than the guy before him. It's not Trevor Lawrence's fault. He got more than Lamar. That's the salary cap going up. And if the salary cap goes up and you're still saying a quarterback gets this percentage of it, it's going to be bad quarterbacks making more money than very good quarterbacks.
Toby, would you have paid Lawrence? That's a lot of dough.
It is a lot, but it's just so bad when you don't have a quarterback. So I probably would have done it. He's, sits right around the outside of the top 10, but he shows all the potential. It's just about getting, that top level of play from him. And I wouldn't move on from him. So you're going to have to pay him or move on. And if you gave me that choice, I'm going to pay him like they did.
I think you only do this because you're betting that the best is still coming.
Yeah.
I think.
But that's what sports is, in essence, everywhere you go. We just had a conversation with John Conn. We can say all we want about Jalen Daniels. We don't know anything.
Right.
So no one knows. Hell, listen, right now, the 49ers look great. They didn't know anything about Purdy. You got what's called. They saw something in Pat Mahomes. Did they know he'll be this good? No. They felt, oh, he'll give us a chance. But he's being better. So Buddy also came in with the mindset like, okay, he's a little goofy, but he's funny. People like him. He likes it. He gets great commercials. So he, in a sense, don't have to be the highest paid to still make way more than the rest of those guys. Because you don't see most of those quarterbacks on commercials, right? But you see Pat Mahomes on everything.
Right.